Unions provide, in one word, democracy. Wall Street didn't build this country. The middle class did, and unions built the middle class. Not labor, unions built the middle class.
That was President Biden today speaking at a labor union conference in Chicago. The president reiterating his pledge to be the most pro-union president in American history. Biden met with Amazon labor union president Christian Smalls last week to congratulate him for taking on the big business.
How you doing, Mr. President?
You're in trouble, man.
Yeah, I am.
Thank you.
Good trouble.
You're my kind of trouble.
Good trouble.
Congratulations, man.
Hey.
I got in a little trouble by it. You may recall I was saying I'm looking forward to them being organized.
Yeah, well, hey, man.
Well, you got it done in one place.
Yeah.
Let's not stop.
That's right.
You're my kind of trouble. Can't stop, won't stop. Smalls' visit to the White House followed his testimony before the Senate Budget Committee, where he politely schooled Lindsey Graham while donning a jacket emblazoned with the words, "Eat the rich," on the front and the back.
You're singling out a single company because of your political agenda to socialize this country.
I think that it's in your best interest to realize that it's not a left or a right thing. It's not a Democrat or a Republican thing. It's a workers' thing. It's a workers' issue. And we're the ones that are suffering. And you should listen because we do represent your constituents as well. So just take that into consideration that the people are the ones that make these corporations go. It's not the other way around.
Smalls also recently made his case for labor on Tucker Carlson's show. Joining me now is the man who's taken on Jeff Bezos, Tucker Carlson, and Lindsey Graham, president of the Amazon Labor Union, Christian Smalls. Christian, it is a real honor to talk to you. My people are from Jersey. I appreciate Jersey Strong coming out and fighting for workers and labor. I want to start with this. I think while people have heard what you've accomplished with unionizing one particular area in Amazon, I don't think enough people recognize what you've had to go through to get there. You have been unemployed for 2 years, right? You got fired 2 years ago?
Yeah, I'm still unemployed as we speak.
And so I want... I'm sorry?
I said until we get a contract. I'm sorry.
Okay. So the other question that I have, if you're open to sharing any part of this, is a lot of people don't recognize that when you're in the process of unionizing, oftentimes people who are organizing unions, they do get fired. They do get put out on the street. They have trouble getting other kinds of work in the area. How have you been able to support yourself over the last 2 years in the middle of a pandemic while you were fighting for the rights of people at a place that was no longer even employing you?
Well, I was fortunate enough when I first got fired. Somebody who I never met from Virginia, his family, this lovely couple, they made a GoFundMe for me.
Wow.
That helped me fight. People I never met before supported me with the GoFundMe originally. When we formed the union, of course, the supporting members of the union that know what it takes for me to get up every day to at least make my bills, they support me, my family, my mother, my brother, my grandparents, my family, they just support me all together. So that's the only way I can get through. And I'm happy to have such a supporting cast that continue to support me to this day.
So one of the things I also think is fascinating about your story is how familiar it is to me and how familiar it is to most Americans. You went to school, you worked hard, you're married, you're divorced, you got a regular job. You did everything that America says people are supposed to do. And yet you've been abandoned in large part, not just by the corporations you're working for, but it's been difficult for you sometimes to get political support. What was it like meeting with President Joe Biden now after, for a long time, having to do all this hustle and grind on your own and not getting a lot of feedback from even local New York politicians?
Well, my story is a prime example of what it takes to really, show what kind of system the country is being ran by. Being unemployed, being rock bottom in the middle of a pandemic. I chose to take this journey that I took. I didn't sit back and be complacent about my situation. I got up every day and I organized, and I continue to do that. And meeting the president, everybody thinks it's just a photo op, and I'm going to be co-opted by the Democrats. It's not true at all. You know, I myself realize that we're in a different type of situation going on right now in this country when it comes to labor. And I know that right now the power, it is with the workers, but it's not being presented that way. We're not being treated as such. So until we get to that point, you know, I'm going to continue to fight for workers. And there's nothing or no political support that's going to change the course of my mission to do that. You know, meeting the president is great, but I want the president to be also held accountable. You know, I didn't go there just to take a photo and shake hands. I went there with some demands, and I want to make sure that they are followed through as well.
So you've had an incredible career for only, being in your early 30s. You worked as a car attendant. You got hit by a car. You toured with Meek Mill for a long time. What is it that you've seen is consistent about the struggle of American laborers, whether they're at Amazon, whether they're opening up for, a great rap act, or whether they're parking cars? What are some of the consistent challenges that you've seen that you brought to the table when you were organizing?
Well, the challenge of the day is really getting up and, defeating your mental health, because you have to make sure that your mental health is up to par every day. It's not meant for everybody. Everybody wants to organize. Everybody gets inspired by organizing. They want to join the fight. And then sometimes I've seen over the course of this short 2 years, people just don't last. They can say one thing, they be going another. So you have to, as an organizer and a leader, you have to make sure that you're there every single day. You're consistent. You're showing by example what it takes to sacrifice, not just for yourself, but for the greater good. And if you're not willing to sacrifice for the greater good, you will not last long in organizing. So for me, I just know that there's a lot of weight on my shoulders, but I have to do this because if I don't, we don't know who's the next person that's going to be willing to take the risk that I'm willing to take.
Christian Smalls, thank you so much. Definitely want to talk to you again.